हरिः ओम् शं नो मित्रस्यं वरुणः शं नो भवत्वर्यमा शं न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शं नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि श्रुतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. This is the last question in the first lesson, the second level. The question is, can you please explain about the zodiacal periods? What about the zodiacal periods? These are called intermediary periods as well as the zodiacal periods. The equinox passes through all the 12 signs in an anti-clockwise direction, and it takes each degree about 72 years. And during the period when the equinox passes through the 30 degrees of a zodiacal sign, the mind and the civilization of the people on this earth will have the features of that particular zodiacal sign. It is very easy to understand. When we look into our horoscope, we start with March 21st. That means Sun enters Aries, and then Sun will be there for 1 month in one sign, that is 30 degrees, and then next 21st or 22nd, Sun enters into the second sign, Taurus. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo. This is a clockwise direction. Sun enters each sign and be there for 1 year. Likewise, the equinoxes also travels through the signs, not in clockwise direction, it is the anti-clockwise direction. That is, Sun in each degree, it travel 1 day. 30 degrees, 30 days. That is 1 month. Here in the equinox, takes time to travel through 1 degree is 72 days. Equinox travels through the sign. Travel through 1 degree is 72 days. That means 13 to 72 days. If you calculate, it is the time to the equinox to travel through that sign. That is number 1. Number 2, this traveling is not a clockwise direction, it is anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise direction means, suppose if you start with Aries, then it travels to Pisces, not to Taurus. From Pisces again back anti-clockwise to Aquarius, again back to Capricorn, again back to Sagittarius, and finally come to Taurus, and then back to Aries. This is the anti-clockwise direction. It is a simple thing. Equinox takes 72 days to cross 1 degree in each sign. That if equinox when equinox is passing through Aries, it is called the Aryan period. So simple. When the equinox is passing through Pisces, it is called the Piscean age. If the equinoxes is passing through Aquarius, it is called the Aquarian age. When the equinox is passing through Capricorn, it is called the Capricorn age. Then what happens? Passes through the 30 degrees of a zodiacal sign, the mind and the civilization of the people on this earth will have the features of that particular zodiacal sign. Even though we born in some other sign, even then, as a whole, when the equinox is passing through a particular sign, that particular sign is having certain qualities, certain features, then they will influence those features of this particular sign, influence the total humanity on this earth of that particular sign. That means our particular, even though we have our own individual horoscope, apart from that, the equinox's sign qualities also influence the human mind and the human civilization. This is what we have to understand. This is a different dimension in astrology. Ordinary astrologers who are not familiar with these signs, they cannot understand what Master is teaching here. You can find lot of notes in esoteric astrology also. What happened in esoteric astrology, Alice A. Bailey, basically she is not an astrologer. She received the information regarding the signs. Even in the ordinary sun signs also, she followed the anti-clockwise, that is, she started the Pisces and Aries and Pisces and Aquarius, like that. Even when she is dealing with the sun signs also, she followed the path of equinoxes and the signs. That's why Master E.K. in one of his lectures he explained, since she is not familiar with the astrology, because she received the lessons from Joel Kuhl and somehow she misunderstood the process, the clockwise and anti-clockwise. That's why she has written like that. So this is what Master explained very clearly in his notes in astrology. Okay, that is not so important. For example, when the equinoxes were passing through Pisces, the international supremacy was of the navy and the oceans. The British people ruled the whole world, and the sign of the Pisces is a watery sign, and the supremacy will be through water. So, in the beginning lessons, in the first lessons, we try to understand each sign. Suppose Aries is the fiery sign, and Taurus is the earthy sign, and Gemini is the Aries sign, and Cancer is the watery sign. Again, Aries is the cardinal, and Pisces is the fixed, and Gemini is the mutable. Like that, we try to understand each sign in different categories. So, when equinoxes is passing through a particular sign, what type of influence the humanity will get? This is the quality of the sign. For example, in the Piscean age, Pisces is the ruling sign. What is the quality of the Pisces? Is a watery sign, right? So watery sign means any business or any travel or any research or anything totally indicates the water. What is the water? At that time, in the human mind and human thought, one thought will come and arise, then he will develop an interest to travel on the sea to reach the other part of the world, right? To make the business, to develop the business through the waters. All the fishing, navy. So, because water is the ruling aspect of the Pisces. That's why in the Piscean age, people, they deal with the water very much. And then water is related with the emotions. People are very, very emotional. At the same time, affectionate also. Water is the indicators of affection, love and concern and care, all these things. They will have a lot of bondage relationship and family bonding and family relationships and liking towards each other, and they will be easily influenced by any teachings, by any people. All these things are predominant at that Piscean age period. This is what Master is explaining here. That's why British people ruled the whole world, and the sign of the Pisces is watery sign, and the supremacy will be through water. They build big ships. They carry all the weapons. They carry the people to other part of the world. They fight from the water. That is what we call the Piscean age. Even in the devotion also, If you see the very old pictures, in the devotion also they show a lot of emotion. If they are doing penance, meditation, they do for 20, 30, 40, 50 years until they reach their goal. If they wanted to see the God, for example, or if you wanted to achieve something, they try and try and try and try, and a lot of emotion will be there, no intellect. Even though intellect is there, the dominating factor is the emotion. That's why Master has given a lecture, Emotion, Intellect and Intuition. A beautiful lecture is there in one of the OMS series, Emotion, Reasoning and Intuition, something like that. That lecture is there. This is one of the very good lectures to develop to understand about the emotional nature of the human being and the reasoning nature of the human being and the intuitional nature of the human being. And there is a book of Alice Bailey, From Intellect to Intuition. It's a very big book. So I refer so many books, and whenever you find time, at least try to read some chapters from that book. You go to the index part, and you like some captions in that. If you cannot read the entire book or 400 500 pages book, you can also read some interesting paragraphs from that book, and that is enough. Or otherwise, you can read the ponder on this. You will find a lot of things from the collections of Alice Bailey book. First do it. There are 2 or 3 books ponder on this, and other 2 books are also there. The collections from the Alice Bailey books. Okay. Then, now that it has crossed the Pisces and entered Aquarius, the naval supremacy stopped and supremacy through air has started. It is evolving into the supremacy of space. That is, after 30 or 40 years, in world politics scenario, we will come to understand that the country which has the maximum number of bombs and can store its bombs, aeroplanes and rockets on the other planets, let it be the moon or Mars, will be the country that will rule all the other countries. Now Pisces has just gone, Equinox has entered Aquarius. Now we are in the Aquarian age in the beginning years. So Aquarius is the sign of air. The supremacy of the naval of the navy and the water will go, and supremacy of air will come into the picture. That's why the scientist or anyone, they wanted to do the research on the space. They wanted to travel into the space. They wanted to visit the other planets. They wanted to understand the space and the planets and all these things. And then what Master is telling, one day it will come. This was the lecture given in 84 or 83 or 82. After 30 years, that means 18, 30, 210 like that. And he was telling that, he told that after 30 or 40 years what happens, the country which can preserve their weapons or aeroplanes or some other equipment in other planets, the country which can store maximum number of aeroplanes or rockets or whatever it may be in the other planet, they will rule the world. That is what exactly the countries are trying now. They are trying to dump the things in the other planets or in the spaceships like that, in the space stations. They are trying that as a middle stop, the space station. From that they will carry other things, and one day will come, definitely they will try to make other planets also either living a place or a storehouse. That is what Master explained here. That means that simply we have to understand air is a ruling element here. What are the qualities of the air? The main quality of the air is expansion, permeation. Out of the 5 elements, if you take out the sky out, among the 4 elements, each element has having one quality, and this air is related with the space, and then the quality of the air is the permeation or expansion, intellect, science, research. It is called the space sign. That's why people all the time think about the space and space and space. And then we have to understand one thing. even the practices and the meditations in the spiritual side also will be changing according to the sign which is influencing us now. Because we are under the influence of the of the Aquarius, we have to change the methods of doing the meditation. We have to change our mindset towards the things. We have to follow certain things in a different way from the Piscean age. Still, if you like to follow the same Piscean age things, they are not much suitable to this present mankind. Even the reading things or food habits, for example, air doesn't need a lot of physical food. You remember that. If somebody wanted to be very healthy in the Aquarian age, they should not take a lot of food, a large quantities of food. It is not acceptable or agreeable to the constitution. They have to change their food habits from the quantitative side to the qualitative side. Even somebody wanted to think or plan, they have to plan in a larger scale, in a higher scale, the higher vibration. They should not confine themselves to certain particular thing that is not suitable to the Aquarian age. This is very important. That's why even the ancient Indian also they know it very well. That's why Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara. So Guru is the Brahma creator, Guru is the Vishnu, and Guru is the Ishvara, the destroyer, and finally Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. These are the three Murtis, Trinity, and finally what they said, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, he is the direct Almighty, the Supreme. Guru is the Supreme. That's why in the name of the Guru, in the name of surrendering ourselves to the Guru is different in the Piscean age. Surrendering ourselves to the Guru is different in the Aquarian age. Surrendering to the Guru in the Aryan age is something different. So the way we have to explain, the way we have to understand, the way we have to assimilate, the way we have to express and live in this world, even in the yogic and spiritual lives, there should be a lot of change in the expression. Because we are living in the age of air. That's why we should make it a point, whenever we do the meditation, start with pranayama first. And then at least once in a month or once in a while at the year, go to outside. Go to the woods. Go to the lakes. Go to the mountains, where you get lot of space and lot of woods and trees and greeneries and very fresh air, fresh waters, where you can see the sky, very blue sky. Sit there for some time or stay there for a few days and have a very cool breeze and do the breathing exercises. Expose yourself to the space and come outside and sit in the sun and enjoy the nature. That's how we have to detoxify our system, and this is the way how we have to develop the contacts between the five elements. That is very important in the Aquarian age. That means we have to open ourselves. We should not close anything in the name of anything. We should not close ourselves even in the name of spirituality or the masters or the service or reading particular books. Having faith in only one thing. Having faith is only one thing has to lead us into the focusing side. But you have to be open to everything. That is what Master Balavatsky opened in this world. That is what Alice Bailey tried through Master Jwalkul. So what Master E.K. did. If you read the E.K.'s books, he never proposed any particular God. You read all the books of the Master. He speaks about so many angels. He speaks about so many masters. He speaks about so many devas. He speaks about so many great people from all the nations, from all the scriptures. He never proposed us to follow any particular thing. That is the beauty in the teachings of Master E.K. because he is impersonal and he is universal. His approach is universal. If you read any teaching of Master E.K., you will first become impersonal, and you will become very open to the space, very open to any nation, very open to any religion, very open to any book or any teaching, any philosophy. The beauty is when we try ourselves like that with this background, you know what happens? The things which are important to us, the things which are useful to us, the things which help us to go to the next levels, those things will come inside. Other things will automatically drop out without our knowledge. That is the beauty in Master C.V.'s lecture prayer, and that is the beauty of Master's teachings. Okay. That is what is called the space age on this earth, and in this age man will cross all the barriers of this understanding. In order to understand all the sciences in this world, he will understand all the sciences in the world. He tries whatever he read before, whatever he heard before, in this particular age, he will try to prove through the science. The final test of mankind for the final step of evolution will be the experience during this age. That is to see if man will show his morality and save his own race on this earth, or if man will want to rule man and kill himself completely. This is the final test, and the war or wars may be the result. Master is telling very beautifully, as if he is a prophet. What is it? This age is a final test to the mankind, to human being. Why? Because he is at his best in the research, in the science, inventing weapons, the most dangerous weapons, kill thousands and thousands of people within few seconds. He will become very intelligent. He will develop lot of things, and he will invent lot of things. So it is for the mankind, it is for the man to decide whether he lives with all the morality, with all the principles, thinking about the others, thinking about the peace, or engaging himself in the wars. So this age is like a testing period. This is what we are facing now. Why these fellows are creating atom bombs and nuclear bombs and hydrogen bombs? What for? Why these people are killing others? What for? Why every nation is living on its own? Why depending on others? Why trying to conquer other countries? Why these fellows are developing vengeance against other countries? What is the purpose behind it? If the man behaves like this, he will be killed by himself. That is what Master is telling here. Right? This is to see it, if man will show his morality and save his own race on this earth, or if man will want to rule man and kill himself completely. If he want to live himself happily and let others also live happily, or kill himself and the other total human race, depend upon his morality. This is the final and test, and the war or wars may be the result. Like this, every sign has its own features. Aquarius is a sign of space and radioactivity. Therefore, the Aquarian age will give us many wonders which we cannot estimate now, but the Zodiacal masters have predicted through Madame Blavatsky 3 things for 3 centuries. We cannot predict how the Aquarian age gives the results. The ruler of the Aquarius is the Uranus. It is the most advanced planet and planets of expansion. At the same time, it is a very dangerous planet. Why? Because I will tell you one thing. We will be very much fascinated and feeling like, oh, I am ruled by Aquarius, I am ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is my ruler in my horoscope. My Uranus is very strong. We feel very proud of it. It is not like that. If somebody is having Uranus influence, always there is a danger in his life. It is a radioactivity. Element is there in the Aquarius sign and ruled by Uranus. So you know what happens? If somebody is having Uranus influence in his horoscope, especially the sixth house or ascendant or something like that, you know what happens? If he gets some problem, health problem, all the clinical tests, they show negative, negative, negative. Negative means no problem at all. All the clinical tests proves so beautiful. Doctor cannot diagnose the disease, and but problem will be there. Health problems will be there. No advanced machine can detect the problem of this Aquarius or this Uranus man or woman. The doctor, what he will do? He tries to give some medicine, won't work. The ill effects of the medicine will be there. Again he will try with some other medicine. Again ill effects of the medicine will be added. Like that, without medicine he will survive and having lot of health problems. Only the master has to help, or homeopathy, or naturopathy. Some other medicine has to help, or meditation, or some other medicine has to help, not the chemical medicine. This is the problem with the Uranus. This master is telling, like this, every sign has its own features. Aquarius is a sign of space and radioactivity. Therefore, the Aquarian age will give us many wonders, which we cannot estimate now. But the Theosophical masters have practiced through Madame Blavatsky, predicted through Madame Blavatsky. What are the predictions? In 1875, it was predicted that scientist was a slave of matter because he was not a state to believe unless he sees anything with his own eyes and feels with his sense of touch. He is a slave of matter in 1875 because he cannot believe anything unless he sees with his own eyes or touch with his own hands. That's why he is the slave of the matter. He was blind to the forces of space. He was blind to the forces of space. In 1975, the scientist was a master of space. That's why all the time I used to tell the people born before 75 and after 75. There's a lot of difference in their thinking patterns also. And you also remember, if you wanted to predict some horoscope, you try to understand whether they are born before 75 or after 75. It is very important. You please remember this. If somebody is born after 175, you please take care of Uranus, Pluto and Neptune and focus on 3 planets a little bit more. You understand? Then 75, the scientist was a master of space. In 2075, we have to wait. Man will travel through space. That is the prediction which is awaited. In 2075, man will travel through space. We are also now traveling through space, but through he's telling here, not traveling in this space, he's traveling through space. He's explaining here that the prediction which is awaited, the first two have come through. We know how the 19th century scientist was a fool, not believing in any final forces. We know how the 20th century scientist is a skeptic, discovering everything in space, but not believing in the human values on this earth. In 1975, he is a master of space, he is believing in the space and all these things, but not in the human values on this earth. This is a problem here. Scientist is not giving any value to the human values on this earth. These two things have come true about the predictions of the Aquarian age. The third thing about that is the man will go into cabin, close himself and tune to the station where he has to go. But we see all these things only in the pictures. What he will do in future, the master is predicted. He will go into the station and there is a map. There will be a map there with all the countries and all those things, like the navigator or GPS, whatever it may be. He will tune the place where he has to go, and what happens? Then he will disintegrate and dissolve into the pre-atomic state of existence. He immediately disintegrate and dissolve into the pre-atomic state of existence. Disintegrate into the atoms stage. Once again from into atoms and his own body and himself in the cabin where he has to arrive. And he reach the place and he reappear there and take all the atoms again back and he build his body and come out of the cabin. These are some of the features of the Aquarian age. This is so simple. Suppose somebody is there in America speaking through the radio or the television. What happens? His picture resolves, and somebody in India, he tuned that particular station wavelength of the American station. He receives the picture here. He can listen to the voice of the man from America within few seconds here. Same thing happens with the physical body also. That is what Master explained. We have to wait for that. And before I conclude my lecture, I would like to tell you once again, we are in the Aquarian age, and look through the Aquarian age, understand the principles of Aquarius, understand the principles of air, understand the signs from the perspective of the Aquarian age, read the books belongs to the Aquarian age, and don't be stuck anywhere. Try to permeate, try to grow beyond all the limitations. So that's it. The first lesson is over in the second level, and from the next recording, I will try to explain to you the next lessons. Thank you very much. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om shanti shanti shanti.